Welcome to section 2 of 14.2. We are going to work with the frequency distribution tables. So if you could find this page on your note sheet, let's walk through it. We're going to complete the cumulative frequency table here that you see below, and we're going to find the mean of this. So what I want to do here is let's fill in the class marks: 65, 75, 85, 95, and then this should say 110. Change your number to 110. This would be 105. Class marks, remember, were based on the midpoints. So maybe you even want to make a note up there that this was the midpoint of the class limits. Then, reading from the stem and leaf, I can fill in the frequency. I see that between 50 and 60, I had 2 occurrences. So I put a frequency of 2. In this one, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2 in that range, in the 100 range. Adding those up, I should get a total of 27. And now go ahead and do your cumulative frequency. What cumulative means is to accumulate. So we're going to accumulate the total number of data points. So I'd have 2 plus 6 gives me 8. 8 plus 5 equals 13. 13 plus the 8 equals 21. 21 plus 4 equals 25. 25 plus 2 equals 27. And that's a good thing because that ties out with what we thought for a number of data points. The last column talks about the frequency times the class mark. What we're doing here is getting an average amount that based on the class mark, which is the midpoint, times the number of times it occurs, will give us the frequency times the class mark. So this would be 110 in value, 390, 375, 680, 380, 210, for a grand total of 2,145 if you took your calculator. Maybe you want to make a note to yourself, this was 2 times 55. This was 6 times the class mark of 65. Just so you can remember how you came up with that. So now what I'd like to do is calculate the mean based on this frequency and class mark idea. So if I sum the class mark times the frequency, which is that last column that we just did, we could see that that totaled to 2,145. And then I divide by the total frequency, which is 27. I will get a mean value. And the mean value turns into 79.4. So using my symbols, X bar is equal to 79.4, which shows me that the mean, based on this table, is 79.4. Taking this into the next screen, I took and had that table already filled out, so we should see the same numbers. I do have, let's correct this, I think I had a typo in here because the total is right, but that should say 110. And down here, again, that should have been 100 to 110 to keep my intervals even. So what we want to do is use this frequency distribution to find the mean. We're going to do an estimated mean on this. So the mean of the data in a frequency distribution is found from using the cumulative frequency distribution, this column right here. So we're going to focus in on that column. You're going to create a proportion basically, and I've tried to lay out the proportion for you, and we'll work from there. So first thing I need to do is find what number I think the median is going to occur at. So first thing, the number in the data set that will be the middle value. So if I had 8 items, the fourth thing would be the middle value. Here we have 27 items. So I would say I'd have 13 data pieces ahead, 13 data pieces after, and then this one in the middle would be my median, wouldn't it? So if I went in 14 data pieces, I would hit my median. So the 14th data piece would be where my median, whoops, I spelled wrong, would be where my median occurs. That means I'm going to look at my cumulative frequency. There's up to 2 values. The 8th value finishes in the 60 to 70 class limit. 13th value finishes in the 70 to 80th class limit. That means my 14th data value occurs from 80 to 90. Somewhere in there is the median value. All right, so I'm going to take the frequency of the class the median is in. The frequency in that median class is 8. There are 8 items in that range from 80 to 90. Now I'm going to look at the width of that class interval. Well, every width of the class interval is 10. And I'm going to set that equal to the number of data values you must go into the class to reach the median. So I ended at the 13th data point when I was in that 70 to 80 range. The 14th data piece will actually be the very first data piece in the 80 to 90 range. So the first one, and then I'm going to do an estimate of how far into that range it is. Cross multiply, 10 equals 8x, so x is equal to 10 divided by 8. So maybe over here you're going to do set up the proportion and solve it. So we're going to solve for x. Now my third step is, let's see, that x value turned out to be 1.25, right? That's how far into that class that the 14th data piece would be. So I'm going to take 80 plus my 1 1/4 that I just estimated and say that my estimated mean is 81.25. Okay? And that is how to do that. So you take your beginning class limit with that interval where the data piece lies and our new calculated amount, which was x, and that will be our estimated median. Okay? Let's do one where we're just given the frequency distribution and have you do it one more time and figure out what the estimated median is. So we've got a frequency of 7. Let's do the cumulative one. 7 plus 9 is 16. 16 and 13 make 29. 29 plus 37 is 30, or plus 7 is 36, and then 40. So there are 40 data pieces. Where would the median occur? The median occurs at the 20th, or 40 divided by 2, at the 20th data entry. If I go back to my frequency table here, I would notice I'm going to highlight the interval in which that occurs. So I'm looking for where I'm going from 16 is the end of the 35 to 50 interval. So it appears to me that the median is going to be in the 50 to 65 range. Good to know. Since this was the end, the 16th data point ended that one, then I would have the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th data point. This will be 4 into this set, right? And I need that when I go to this proportion. So the frequency of the class the median is in. That means there was 13 data pieces in that interval. The width of my intervals in this case is 15. I need to go into the class 4 data pieces that we just looked at. And then I want to know basically how much value that would take up. So really what we're doing is there was 13 data pieces spread over a width of 15. How much would each data piece be worth? And that's really what this proportion's setting up. So I'm going to cross multiply, and I'm going to get 60 is equal to 13x, divide by 13. And that would say x is approximately, I calculated this earlier, 4.62. What do I do with that 4.62? I add it to the beginning value. So I take my beginning value of that interval, add it with the calculated amount. So I'm going to take 50 plus 4.62, and that's going to equal 54.62, and that's my estimated median. So that's what we'll be working on in homework this next time, and here will be the homework assignment, and we'll see you Monday, ready to do that. Thanks for listening.